of Dail Glas Concorla, I suppose what really I'd like to bring to the attention is the issue of the funding from the Eurosystems that exist with regard to us delivering critically important services in this country, where we get our money and how we are surviving today. And it would be wrong of us to deny that funding from the Eurosystem, which comprises of the ECB, the Central Bank, and other national central banks of the euro area, has been an essential source of funding for the Irish banking system since the wholesale banking and financial markets have been effectively closed to Ireland. This support has no doubt been crucial for us to survive as a country. This funding is provided by the ECB at an interest rate of 1%, and last Thursday the ECB announced that the funding would continue and would be ongoing even if there was a downgrade by the rating agencies. And I suppose I'd have to welcome that support. It reassures the markets about the funding position of the Irish banks. And, you know, that commentary was on the backdrop of the radical restructuring of the banking sector announced last week by government, where we laid down a marker to protect deposits and to ensure that the flow of credit to Irish consumers and businesses would commence imminently. Last week's announcement will result in a smaller, fit-for-purpose banking sector, and it becomes, no doubt, it's going to be a challenge, but it is our intention to ensure that it will be sustainable and will become less dependent on state support. All of these actions are being taken to ensure that Irish banks are viable and that financial institutions which can fund themselves without continued support from the state or the ECB or the central bank. Now, I understand that the Minister for Finance will travel to Budapest this week to attend an informal meeting of the Eurogroup of the ECOFIN group of meetings. I envisage that this meeting will, amongst other things, take stock of the recent economic and financial stability developments that have taken place in this country. And I would hope that the Minister would use the opportunity to speak to his colleagues and brief them of the most important developments that have taken place in Ireland, including, indeed, last week's announcements on the banking restructuring and the banking systems going forward. The government must continue an approach of building support amongst the European Union and our partners for support with the direction we're taking with regard to the banking restructuring and most importantly with regard to the interest rates that are being charged as the assistance we receive from the European institutions. I think significantly one of the issues that certain parties are trying to ignore in this argument is the announcement with regard to the government's approach that will ensure that 12 billion per annum in new lending will be made available for each year of the next 3 years. And that's in the context of the backdrop that the Central Bank estimates that only 11 to 16 billion euro will be required to small to medium enterprises over the course of those 3 years. And I welcome this morning the Minister's position with regard to the Credit Review Office and in enabling that office to build its work with regard to credit in the economy and to ensure that effective access for small to medium enterprises can take place with regard to the billions of euro that are being put into the banks to ensure that small to medium enterprises can get people back to work, keep High Street Ireland open. I think that that's critically important. I think also we need to look at the whole office of the credit review. I quote in the words of John Trethowin, the credit reviewer, who says that the potential of a borrower to appeal to the Credit Review Office against the treatment of credit decisions has, quote, in itself had a positive influence on the behaviour of these two banking institutes, that was AIB and Bank of Ireland. As much as it is difficult to ideologically accept that we have to push 24 billion euro into the coffers of the bank, to borrow the phrase of the previous speaker and indeed eminent speakers of this House, we are where we are. Critically, the most important thing is that we get the flow of credit going in Ireland, that we can secure support for small to medium enterprises who are prepared to take risk. But we need to ensure that banks are prepared to take the risk with business in this country. We need to ensure that banks are prepared to put their shoulder behind the wheels in terms of those people who are trying to create jobs in the economy. This is significant. This is critically important to locations and areas in Ireland that have been devastated by unemployment. And I'm looking forward to the Minister elaborating with regard to verify that the Credit Review Office is going to ensure the delivery of that €12 billion per annum over the next 3 years in the context of delivering resources to the local economy.
Thank you, Deputy. Deputy Nolan.